Good morning. Good afternoon. I hope you're all doing well. Let me just pause this and we can get straight into game one. So if anyone's joining this or watching this and hasn't watched previous hey consumer hasn't watched previous reviews that I've done, this one, because it's our game, of course, is going to be a lot about what we can take from it. So it's not just commentary on everything that's going on in the game, everything that we see, but instead it's like, how are we going to take this so that we're prepared for 2 weeks time where we play loser bracket final and then Los Ratones in the grand final once again. So I'm going to be making notes as we go, things that I want to show the team. I think probably I won't be recording any clips, at least today. What I've done in the past is go through this, find the time, and then record clips. Hey, Vincent. But we'll get started. I remember the series, but as always, it's kind of interesting to watch back because what I think of the series and then when I watch it like this is often quite different. So from my point of view, here, this game, we were very disjointed and quite nervous, I think, and ended up talking over each other quite a lot and getting a bit confused. Second game, we'll get to it as we go. So in terms of the draft, they have this scaling like front to back. After not very long, they're going to have, well, after a few items at least, they're going to have a much better like front to back, easy front to back than us. We can play with the range. We can also play with the one shot. And then this combo of like Ivan and Leona can be really useful. But I think the main thing for me here is that we need to be way more aggressive in the times that we're strong. We're in a really good spot in this game and at points, and we didn't really get anything for it. So that's going to be a crucial thing to kind of look at going forward. And we'll see. Sorry, 1 second, actually. I'm just going to get a water because I think that's going to be useful for the future, for sure. Go back. Okay. We're back. We're back. As always, if you have anything that you want to ask, just put it in the chat. We can take the time here. We're not got scrims today, so it can be a bit of time as we go through this. Oh, this is the one where Crowley like leaps forward, but would happen to not be watching. So I think the early game went pretty well. We're in a good spot in each lane. Top especially. We see the Maokai. We just use the crash for basing for a tier. We don't quite hold this. I want to look actually how enemy bot lane gets level 6 first. Yes, I do have Nitro now, but Freddie gave it to me. Yeah, how this bot lane gets level 6 first, because it's really strange. Because that really caught out. I don't know if you were listening to our comms or not, but that really caught out Eric, and I was very confused by it in the game because, as far as I can see, they lose CS and we don't. I must miss something because obviously I was watching the co-stream, so I don't get to like pause, rewind, or anything like that. Get the crash in top. We can secure the grub. I'm sorry, the scuttle. And then we get a gank top and also burns his flash. I mean, he knows this obviously, but Baus just don't put a flash there. It's like, I fucked up, I died. Like, you shouldn't burn summoners because the next gank then is a real problem. Oh yeah, we die 2v2. It's just on the death, isn't it? That's how they get so much XP. So here we're getting 4 first. We're in a good spot. We burn heal. 2v2's winning. 1v1's winning. Mid lane's doing fine. Like, this is a good spot for us. I didn't realize quite how good it was when we were watching it live, but 1k up already. 5 minutes just from laning, I think is we take those. Then Triss loses this whole wave. Triss loses this way, but maybe we lose this cannon? No? So, okay. Even now, like... Okay, XP is still even. It's just the kill, isn't it? So grubs for dragon, that's completely fine for us. We don't mind that at all. Nothing so far that I would really change from this game. Or nothing that's worth going over. While we're doing grubs, he gets a proxy, but it doesn't matter at this stage. We've got the Barmies, so we can push forward as well. So at this stage, they're just up in XP, and I don't really know why. Let me jump back. Like what? It's the XP that gives them the kill. I'm just going crazy. One minion dies that Matty doesn't get XP for. But then here, Crownley loses 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 minions of XP. So Eric in the game was like Braum gets solo XP while Learning misses cannon wave XP for a bad tempo. No, but it's not. It's not the problem is not the Braum. Like we knew Braum was 6. The problem was that Crowney gets 6 before Matt gets 6, and that's what he was shocked about in the game. This is the cannon, like I mentioned, but Matt gets it. Is it just the Dragon XP? Dragon XP doesn't seem to be all that much. Okay, but Dragon XP does matter. So we even said in the game, like Braum's going to get 6 first, but we thought as a 2, we're going to get 6 at the same time as Trist. So at this stage, this was the part that was a shock, that they get 6 on this cannon, and we don't. So I think it's just Dragon, by the way. I actually think it's Dragon. Dragon XP. You get 1 wave earlier because it's Dragon XP. Because he doesn't die there if they both hit 6 as well. I wouldn't have spent that much time on it, but he asked me after the game and I didn't know. So I wanted to look back. Okay, but like I said, we got another kill on top. So we're still in a fine spot. We're both TPing top. This from here, from Freddy, like he just needs to say that he can't join this play. The same thing happened in the day before with Matt. Like if you can't join, you can't join. Like this is far too dangerous. We've got no connect ward, no flash. And so like because enemy has it warded, which we should know because they've been around in that area. As soon as they're saying here, like we can fight, he has to say, I can't come, I can't come, I can't come, I can't come. So he dies, and also it goes to Azir, which is a real problem. And they get the scuttle, I think. Yeah. Okay. They get the scuttle. We get the crash in, which is going to allow us to swap for the grubs, if I remember right. They both stop Ez, but that does mean that Leona's there first. Ez is fine under the tower. So we should go for the grubs. We have this time to make this quick play. This is a really nice call, but then from here we just back off and go to grubs. Again, I don't think I'm going to be talking about this with the team because this is like fairly obvious. And in the game, you know, I wrote it down during the series, but this is the kind of thing as a coach, from my opinion, don't talk about this. You have to think about what it means to talk about this kind of thing. And so here, okay, we went too aggressive and then we lost the grubs for it. But not only did the players already know that just from watching the game, the main problem in this game, as far as I was aware on the day, might change later after reviewing the rest of it. But the main problem that I was aware of was that we weren't aggressive enough. So in between the games, I'm never going to point out a moment where we should have gone less aggressive, because then they go into the next game thinking we need to be less aggressive, not more aggressive, even if I say we need to be more aggressive. So if you're coaching, you have to bear in mind the kind of meta point that you're making and the message you're giving the players, regardless of what you're like saying by what you're showing them. Because here we just go back. We go back, and I think also they can't come up here, can they? Trist is coming, but I think after this kill, we just all group together and come back, and we're so like high HP and everything that Ezreal's going to come as well. Like, I think we'll be fine. But instead, we go very aggressive, and then we die coming back. I mean, we got one grub. We've still got our 4. Not the worst. The other thing to do would also be just to rush on the grubs. But again, I don't really like that kind of play. To like take the grubs and get out already when the early game should be going quite well for us. Now they're cleaning up the rest of the grubs. This is where like we're TPing, and I don't really like this TP. But this is the like nervousness of the first game in a best of 5. And we're spending time on the top side, even though... So let's look at what we should do. Like, as soon as this happens, I think now we should just pivot and try and play for the dragon. Because they're going to have to go to grubs. They're putting people top. I think now we should just be playing for dragon. Because we actually end up... Enemy gets soul in this game, right? Not the worst, just a different decision that could be made, you know. But the camps are on top side, so you can understand why we want to go for that. Tamas is really, really fed. He's got 1k lead just by himself. Not as in only by himself, as in... Yeah, they were good games. I think there's a lot that we can change in the next couple of weeks that can give us a much better shot as well. But of course, they'll be the same, right? They also get the advantage of preparing, I would guess, primarily for us. Whereas we do need to take whoever is third very seriously. This was really well coordinated and super clear. We cleared the wave so that we could TP. This is really nice. Next wave is coming, but it's going to be a while. We know Trist has no sums because he wasted them both. They both die, and the Drake was 50-50. I mean, well, Q-Smite from... yeah, I mean, Q-Smite from Maokai is not exactly 50-50, but still. And then also, I think Bao's just shouldn't TP, but we did the exact same thing the other side, right? Now we get to kill him as well for free because the wave is dying already. We get the next wave. And we're in a really good spot. We're about to start spiking really hard. 1-2 items, we're super, super strong. When we get Moonstone Redemption on Ivan, that's where we need to start being way more aggressive. We're looking here about if we could try and find something, but we don't. People are coming, so we just back off. We get big chunked. And we take bot tower. Again, really good spot. They're taking Rift Herald while we're bot. And we actually can push really aggressively forward and try and push them off it. So they're going to trade the other tower back, but we get the Rift Herald. I mean, this is still good. Like, this is a good position to be in. The second dragon, unfortunately, was... you know, we're never going to win the 50-50s. Maokai can Q Smite and Ivan can't do anything to burst it. But we traded towers and we got the Rift Herald and we got the first tower as well. So we got the boots. I don't know if it's the case, but I think Chachi is not loud enough. Yeah, there is a cool priority people to listen to. But then there's also, you have to bear in mind the just natural voice loudness, sound. Could be worth turning him up, to be quite honest. Just as simple as that. Everyone turn Chachi up 10%. Pass clears the wave. We don't really know where anyone is, so we can't chase him too much. Oh no, this is the time where we do just keep chasing him, actually. So we saw that they went towards top side. We end up getting his flash, I think, here, but we do lose a wave for it, or half a wave for it. We get flash, redemption coming in. We clear this next wave as well. We've got time here. Like here, maybe we should just put Herald in mid, no? Put Herald on mid and just try and pressure this guy under the tower. Let me look at the whole map. Like, what have we seen? So Crowny pushes mid. Nemesis pushing top. Syndra goes back towards top. We'll come back out on the map. So here, like this sequence, let me see it again. So we got the bot tower. Then we clear the wave and we shift up. And we push them away 4v4 on the Herald. Because we're strong right now and because Tamas is coming. Then we push up towards top and we reset. While bot lane stuff is happening. Like here, I think we're chasing Crowny back to slow his base. Like I think we can just push. We just put Herald down a mid here, no? This one actually is worth going over with the team for sure. Oh, need to get my things organized. My highlighting colors. Because Trist is in base, but it's just we've got 3 people mid and they have 2 people bot. Like one of them's based, one of them we see. So just Herald mid. And then we can match it always. We can have more numbers here always, and we can just chunk this tower. And that's what I think we don't do enough, especially when we get grubs, like just hitting towers. I think is something that we need to do more of, and something that Los Ratones do really well. They just gradually get your towers down by just hitting them over and over again, like half health, dead, pretty much full, half. And despite the fact that we've got the grubs. Now, a minute on the next dragon. But we've got 2 items on Ezreal. We've got 2 items on Ivan. This is where we want to fight. So it's not that we always go for that tower there, but absolutely this stage of the game, when we're in our windows, we just need to play way more aggressively. We come bot to get his passive. We talked about that. If they match and put passive, we just take it. Then they're going to give up the dragon because they're playing like we're on spikes. And that's why it's hard. Because against maybe some worse teams, they give you the fights when we're strong. Whereas now we have to take them. And in scrims, they always give you the fights. So if you're strong, they'll still give you the fights. This is the difficulty. See, now by the time we push stuff down on mid, it's responding to what they're doing rather than being active about it. So here, we clear this wave. Azir on side lane with Nashers is always going to be annoying. We're like preemptively moving to commit loads of numbers to mid lane, but with the Herald, we don't need 4 people here, I think. If we're going to do this, we need to go much deeper. Like, so because Chachi's not moving and Freddy is. I think we also could have gone deeper there. What happens if we just force this into the tower? Like, what happens if we just drive it into the tower? Crownie's half HP. We've got TP on Poppy. I think this is... Yeah, Azir TPs, Poppy TPs, 5v5 when we're all at spikes and their Eddie carries half HP. I think this is fine. That's my point. Like, that's the reason we didn't. That's the reason we didn't force onto mid. But we're grouping because we're strong. They start responding on a side, and we then just take a little bit and then leave. I think it's fine. If Poppy's ready to TP, he's clearing this wave. Azir's ready to TP as well. He's cleared this bottom wave. But Ezreal with these 2 items versus Triss with this and half HP and low mana. Yeah, but we lose the bot wave anyway. So I think this is another time where we can just be much more aggressive. Like, so again, we're still at our really big spikes. And both these times, I think, or we can hard rotate towards top side. We can play this way and then we play for the top tower. But someone does have to go to bot. Someone will have to go to bot eventually. Or we need to play for Atakan, to be quite honest. Basically, my point is just that in this situation, 2 items, 2 items, 2 items, he's giga-fed. Like, this is the strongest point of the game for us. And we're so used to other teams fighting us when we're strong. Whereas Los Ratones are a really good team. They don't fight you when they would lose. So the question is, how do you make them fight you? And I think we can either play really aggro on this tower. Like, we could dive this, and I think you get a better shot than just not playing it. Or we can push towards top side, I think. Yeah, so we go and collect red buff. Poppy goes bot. We reset back out again. And they're trying to play for 3 items. When it's 2 items, 2 items, we're still good. Once it's 3 and 3, it becomes harder. So here we're TPing because Tamas is starting to get think like we're trying to leave. I think forcing Atakan could be okay, but the problem is that because you used time already to get this mid lane tower. Sorry, I went back too far. So we've used our time from bot lane already to come here. So now whatever we do, we're going to start losing on bot side. I think if we run to Atakan and just start hitting it, it's not the worst. But you are going to definitely lose a bunch on bot. And to be honest, you might even lose inhib tower. I think your options are play super hard for this tower, match the TP, play towards Poppy, and then either play for this tower or Atakan. And in that case, especially with Atakan, I think you probably do send someone back if he keeps hitting this tower. But both our people have TP as well, so someone can go back and then match the Azir TP. It's all risky and it feels risky in the game, and that's why we don't do it. But my point is that you need to force something to happen in these windows, and I think this is where this is where we lose the game, and this is where they're better than us at the moment. Is they force on the windows when they're strong much better than we do when we're strong. Yeah, I think you can definitely do something more there. We can do a lot more in these two situations. What it is, to be honest, I'd rather just hear from them. It's risk reward, but it's also like you have to factor in the risk of what happens if we don't have this fight. So what you're really saying here, let's say we're talking about the dive in mid, which might be one of the most risky plays. Might not be. I think it might be okay. I think probably you win this, to be honest. But let's say this play was 60-40. So you only just win it. Like it's on the verge of equal. Because obviously you can't actually calculate. So like saying it's 51% is just pointless. My point is that the fight here, or the third fight when both the side lanes are pushed in, the third 3-item fight when both the side lanes are pushed in and everything's set up correctly, but it's 3 items, might be 50-50 or 55-45, you know? So that's the other thing you have to think about when you're calculating risk here is like, this is when we are strong. And I want us to have that mindset shift of we're strong now, so we should force harder. And that, I think, as I'm watching this, is the big difference between playing really good teams and playing not quite so good teams with good players. Like a lot of the NLC players are really good players. And when they get a lead, they'll beat you. But when you get a lead, they'll probably let you beat them. Both teams 2 items is fine. We are stronger on 2 items. When I say that, I don't mean like if we've got a lead, we're even the scaling comps are probably stronger if you have a lead. My point is our champions on 2 items are like some of the most OP champions on 2 items in the game. But at 3 items each, then it's going to be more like equal. And at 4 items each, they're going to be in the lead. Even if the gold stayed equal the whole time. And at 4 items, it is easier to force stuff because it's like you're forcing Soul or you're forcing Baron. But you have to be able to do it on these 2 items. Especially as we did get ourselves into a very good position. And now we start to feel the fact that we haven't got stuff on our strongest points. And we start to get a little bit, I think, more... a little bit more antsy, or I don't know how you'd say it, like... feels like more desperate and a little bit more like hopefully they mess up. So here, Tamas is thinking like we just insta-force a fight and we just go super deep. We just all go deep into their jungle. And I think it works. I think we just all leg it in. But it's not as good as it was before, I think. We will start talking about this more in draft. Because I want to make it a focus of this week, which then means I can start talking about it in the draft and I can start talking about it in the game, in the competitive game as well. But it's not something that I had considered a big issue for us before, because both in competitive games and in scrims, it's not been an issue, but it's because that's what the enemy has let us play. So again, this is the great thing about having, like, this is the advantage about having another good team in your group. Like, whichever of us or Los Ratones goes to EMEA Masters, like, even if it's them, I do think they're better for having us in the group rather than us in the NLC, rather than just teams that they can run over. Because here it's much easier to, like, they're doing it to us here. Like, it's great for us to be able to play this game, because until now I would have said we're probably quite good at forcing stuff, because Eric is one of the most aggressive shot callers that I've ever worked with, if not the most. And if we start getting on the same page with him, like, we will get super aggro. But actually, when you come into this game, like, maybe there are moments where we should go much deeper. Like here, I think this is already not as good as the other ones. I think forcing on the waves rather than forcing everywhere else is better. Yeah, the thing that I like from their shot calling is it's much calmer at the moment, because we've got a lot of different voices, and we still haven't really had enough. I mean, it's still really early on, but we still haven't had enough time to quite like narrow it down and iron it out. Whereas they were kind of naturally already in a good situation. So now we're in this weird wonky lane assignment type situation where Noe has to be scared of getting killed by Garen, but Tamas doesn't have TP, so he can't go down. And now we start like trying to threaten someone on bot side. Well, they get pressure around Atacam. They can't do it though, but still. Daisy comes in and tanks up the stuff for us. Now we collect this wave on the side. So here, while the game is still even, and we're actually still in a good spot, I think if we have a normal fight here, it's actually still good. It's also starting to get a little bit more scary. They also scrim way more. Yeah, I mean, we're a part-time team. They're a full-time team. So they have twice as much time every week to do stuff. But still, we should be better. We should give them a better game for sure. Here, Crownie absolutely, like, he hard carries this, but it's so risky. If I remember. So they have, like, Matt has both summoners and I think E up. If he's looking here, Crownie jumps in and has to instantly flash away. But I think he's just sort of gambling that. Like, you jump in, and if they respond to me well, I have to flash away, and I fucked it. But if they don't, then I win the whole game pretty much. Because he's playing really well with the vision here, because they've got sapling in the bush, and so as soon as Lucas leaves and the slow comes down on Matt, oh, he doesn't have E as well. Well, it's just coming out. But Crownie jumps forward here, and we're actually looking at Garen. So we get 1, 2, 3, 4 autos before we even notice, basically. So this, I mean, Crownie smurfs this. Is a great play. To find that little window where you're playing with the vision, and you're playing on the fact that Baus is TPing in with like a lot of chaos. So they see the TP, but to be honest, I think this fight should be really good for us. I have to say. Like, yes, Crownie smurfs it, but like if we're paying more attention, then I think we just flash away. And then I think this fight is actually okay, because we're having this forced fight with no Azir ult, no Maokai ult now. And I think Matty doesn't die, and then Garen dies. And I think this is actually a good fight for us, but yeah, but instead, our AD carry dies, and so our flanker also dies. And they get Atakan. No, literally no one noticed, basically. I mean, obviously they noticed, but like in that half second where people didn't notice, that was enough. I mean, at this stage, like, Baus has not had a big impact on this game. So I think what we've done so far is good. I think in some of the other games it's better. Is there a chance that if the teams from the NLC does really well in EMEA Masters, more spots open? Not this year, I think. It's already decided. But for next year, yeah. I mean, the fact that NLC has so few E-Master spots is because of last year. Because, like, Italy has more, even though they have 6 teams. Because they did better than NLC last year. Because for the last few years, NLC has not been doing well. Imagine 1 second not being enough. I don't know what I mean. Sorry. Yeah, we get 2 slots, but it's already decided. So if Los Ratones go and win it, we don't get more slots. We already get 2 slots anyway. So they already announced how many people are going into what. But this year is based on last year. We get the mid tower. We come back. I can't remember what happens this next one. I think we trade it even with Atakan, but it's Atakan, so we lose Baron, right? If that's what happens, I think. This is how we want to play the fights, like really kind of like slow, cycling the shields. Daisy does absolute work in the back line. They get really chunked. We want to push forward and push them off, but we already have that danger of Oh yeah, this is big. Just kill the dragon. I mean, this was really annoying. Really just silly. We also died in mid. Just kill the dragon. Like, so here we push them away. And now at this stage, if you're going to get mid lane, like get this mid high and then kill the dragon. 25-19. Trade for tower. They look to trade on tower immediately after dropping the dragon. Yeah, but they can't get this mid wave. They only get it because we let them have it. Because if they can't fight here, they can't fight here either. So we just shouldn't let them have the mid wave. But here we should just get like we're not in a rush now to take this dragon. We catch mid wave high and then we go back and do the dragon. Like after every fight, it's waves first, then objective. Which is something we talked about already. So we not only lose the dragon, we also lose on mid. And at this point, everyone's like, it's just super confusing because this was again because everyone's just too much adrenaline, all this kind of thing, just getting into the series, which is a shame. No, just after the fight, you should look at the waves first. Then you should think about objectives, not objectives first and then waves. Yeah, and now it's really hard. Now, not only are they ahead, but they're also stronger anyway. So even if we were equal and both AD carries had 3 up, well, they do okay. But Trist is now stronger than Ezreal. Not in every situation, just in general. Like easy rule of thumb way to think about it. I think we still had one chance to come back into this game if we'd have played the fight around Dragon better. And then that was it. Faust dies again. We traded tower for it, but you're always going to trade something to slow down this play. Yeah. Yeah, if it's ever like front to back, it's a tragedy at this stage. Like it's unwinnable playing front to back. Like you have to play the fights like we played that one with the Atakan, where we're like going in and out, not letting people just hit you. If Trist is hitting Leona and Ezreal is hitting Maokai, it's never going to work. We want to chase them. We kill Maokai on the... Oh, we don't kill Maokai here as well. This game is so many little things, and this is what happens when you play a good team. Like it's these tiny little moments, like the fact that he gets away is actually ends up being really annoying because it also makes it frustrating. And again, they get the mid wave, and each time they get the wave as well. And he actually gets the tower too. So every time we're chasing, they're just going waves, waves, waves. And we want to play for this next dragon. We know we don't win 50-50 because Maokai has the Q Smite. They reset, go back to base. We want to play on this really hard. This is like our last window, really, to get anything done. It just gets harder from now, but already it's like kind of impossible. Until this, actually. This is okay because they go too far forward. The stun comes, so the cleanse is down as well. Oh, no, okay, yeah, he just dies, I remember. Why am I thinking this came to a dragon fight? It definitely does not come down to a dragon fight. No, maybe it was game 2 or something. Shame. Yeah, okay. This one I think is now it's just done, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, so there's not going to be anything that's worth showing the team from here on out. So that's it for the first game because that's fine. So there's 3 moments where we can play much, much more aggressively, I think, in our windows, and that's going to be a big focus for next week. then it's also like catching mid-high and then killing dragon rather than just killing the dragon. And the other thing is like no one responded to crowning jumping in. Those are the 3 moments. I think if you change any of those, the game is different, but that's the point of the game. Like that's the point of competitive League of Legends. Which one's this? This is game 2, right? Yeah, good. Can't remember how I felt about this one afterwards. But we will rewatch again and see. Oh yeah, this one, the start was really bad. No, that was the Verdant game. There's a problem. 2 back-to-back competitive games. Best of 3, best of 5. Starting to lose track. Swap is always going to be dangerous with Enchanter support. And then because of that, they get the invade. We cheese, so they invade. They get a lot more from this level 1 than us. Don't really like this draft, I have to say. I would rather let them have stuff like Rakan and force them to play into us than let them play back. I can't remember exactly how it went down, but I remember thinking 2 things. I remember thinking if we want to run like poke, we should have banned Sion rather than Cho'Gath. And I think whenever you're playing like Enchanter carry, Sion is always going to be super obnoxious because the lane swap is going to be so strong. And I think, what did we go? We went Zyra. Did we go Zyra first pick or Varus first pick? I think we went Varus first pick, and they went Pantheon Zeri. And so we were already thinking, okay, they're going to probably play an Enchanter. We were then talking about the fact that we could go range. We took the Rel, which I think is a good pick regardless. Although I think we could save it and go Nautilus or even go straight Nautilus with Braum gone. Could have gone Naut because we can get on Zeri easier. But we also have the ability to go... wait, actually, no. Wait, wasn't it... I can't remember. I think it was Varus first, which... there's no way we get Zyra later on, is there? I think we went Zyra. We must have gone Zyra then. In which case, it was probably Zyra Victor, or is it Zyra Rel? No, Zyra Rel. Okay, yeah, so I was right as well. Jungle was 2, yeah, so 2-3. I think this is okay, although to be honest, I would slam Naut here, I think probably, with Braum gone. I think it's okay. Especially as we were pretty sure this was going in the jungle. But the big thing for me is that if we want to pivot and play ranged, firstly, I think we should go longer range than this. Longer range than Victor, even if the matchup is worse, personally. They went Mel on 3, and they went Lulu on 4, right? And we banned Rakan and mid lane, I think. And it's because Rakan was like better for the comp, but it's worse for Zeri. Or it was better for the matchup or something like that. I can't remember. But like, I think if we want to play range at that stage, because we know Zeri's going to go with an Enchanter, we should just ban Sion, and we should ban like 2 engage. Like Rakan is okay, right? Rakan and Sion would be better. If you swap this out for Cho'Gath, and this is a longer range mid laner, and we just say, right, and this is Nautilus, then we just play super range. I think that's a better situation for us. Even if the matchup in mid is worse, if this is like Ziggs or Lux or something. Because they ban Xerath, right? But as soon as they ban, like, we've got other options. We should have just gone a different long range thing. And this dive like is super hard. And he's going to get 2 as well. We get first blood and we die. We execute, but this game is already ridiculously hard after the whole thing. I think we could have just taken Silent ourselves as well, we were talking about. With the Choban. Reckless take was you love banning twice for one position to favor one side over both. Yeah, the thing is that there was 3 enchanters, so we were saying like we don't need to ban like unless you can ban Lulu and Janna, but then they wanted to ban Rakan. I don't know. I think that's for the yeah. I think this 4-5 and the bans should be different for sure. I think banning Lulu and Janna is also not the worst. You ban Lulu, Janna, and then you can then the rest of the comp can be the same. I think if you ban Lulu and Janna. Whereas if you ban either one or neither, then I think our comp has to be different. But I also think just Nautilus would have been better on into Zeri with no Braum as well. Like with Braum up, you definitely can't take Nautilus there. You have to take Rel. But with Braum down, then we're swapping. We did get the 2 kills from it. But this is already like really wonky. The fact that Chachi gets himself back into this game is an absolute masterclass from him. Not was banned. Don't think it would have been banned in first phases, would it? Level 1 Gnar shows mid, they insta push top wave. Let me see. I mean, it's all fairly standard in swaps, right? He can't go top. He just loses against double range. He just loses so much HP, and so they can push this because he has to go top and try and help with this dive. And the fact that he's coming gets the flash, which means that the dive is bad, but not a complete tragedy. Takes too long, and we don't get the kill on the right person. He gets the wave. So like Gnar gets completely screwed over by this whole swap situation. It was Nautilus can't have been banned, can it? And now we're also in a situation where we're losing these camps. Oh, sorry, whole screen's going to go black for a second. Situation where we're losing these camps. Oh my god, tech problems. Yeah, she doesn't get Gromp or she doesn't get Wolves, right? She gets Gromp, but not Wolves, and it's really hard already. Yeah, the level 1. I don't know what you can do. I think we just play more defensive level 1, like, because I think it does just kind of fuck everything. Okay, sorry. He's like 2 level. Like, luckily, Silent Passive does no damage to towers anymore. We were quite shocked to get these, I think. We're thinking at the time we take one and run. But then I guess Lulu showed bot, so we're in a much better spot than we should be in this game. Yeah, we've got grubs. We're now ironically, we're now only 2 levels down in top. Actually better than it was. And then we're gonna, do we lose blue as well? I can't remember. Can't remember if we get it back or not. No, we lose it. Q smite. I think you should just play for the kill here instead of playing for the blue buff. Like, I think just go on Pantheon. Mid can't move. Freddie was saying mid can't move. Mid is in a really bad spot this whole game, and we don't do very much with it. Like, Noe's just winning really hard, and we never... I think you just don't hit the... And I think we're just a bit tilted at how the game is going. And then he comes out and gets a kill, and he ults away. Yeah, this game should have been so over. And Sion gets away with the flash down as well. Like, this whole sequence for Lucas is just terrible. And this is why you do take the Victor, because he's very strong. Also, LR scouting what your bot lane do in this game from the previous series. Yeah. Yeah, but I also think we shouldn't go for it in these kind of situations. But also, yeah, we had gone for it yesterday, so... This is an absolute tragedy. He lives on like 5 HP. When this auto hits, 40 HP. Okay. Not quite 5. Yeah, so this one's already strange, like, thinking about what to say in this game, because, like, I think this level 1 we really need to look at. Then they come to mid, but then they just leave. So we get 5 grubs. But I think, once again, like, we don't... And we sound like a fucking solo kill, Jesus. We somehow, like, we just don't hit towers enough when we get these grubs. So we trade the grubs for the dragon because they were super greedy with rotating up and then instantly leaving it. And we actually leave in mid, if I remember. Again, the gold is way more even than it should be. And then I don't know why Valio just stays here. Gets the first tower in our face. Gets out as well, if I remember. Because that Q doesn't land. Oh, no, he doesn't get out. Okay. We have to flash, but he gets the first tower. We want to push up and play for this, but they get the dragon, I think, if I remember in the sequence. Yeah. But again, like, we've got these grubs, and yeah, we're behind, okay? So, but we have never been in a position to be, like, hitting towers. So I don't think I've actually seen any Voidlings spawn. We get a kill, but we lose bot tower. Now we're going to start hitting top tower, right? Please. Pantheon's dead, but he's got his ult, so he can just like jump back in, which is why I think we didn't go for the dragon. But I think we should. So let me see this. So they overextend, we kill one, we use 2 ults when dragon's coming up, and they don't use ults. They use Lulu ult and Sion ult. I think we should just rush reset and then come back out. It's hard, isn't it? It's already hard. But the fact that we push in and go for it is a problem. Like, push this way and go this way and hit this tower. Like, he makes it harder to hit towers, right? But I don't think he makes it harder to hit towers, but there's no way he makes it impossible, you know? Like, I think if we're not going to fight here, we should not fight. Like, if we're not going to fight, do something else. Which one shall I call this? Generating time. Because we don't slow them down on it. We don't get anything for it. We get top tower, but like we could get Herald and top tower, I think. And we should just play hard on this side and play deep on this side. Okay, we get 2 towers as well. But that's not because we came and contested it, is it? Maybe? Maybe it is, maybe it's not. So we got the chunk here. They skyfalled into mid. I think from here already we should just play on this side. Because them taking this and the fact that they're low, like that's already going to get us stuff. It's always hard to say because like we get a chunk because of that fight. And so... But I still think the better play there is just to leave it already. Like after you get the chunk in mid, you fight hard for mid lane. And because you've got no ults, you just have to go the other way. This is just silly. Do the wave, don't try and play for the kill when we don't know where Pantheon is. Pantheon's there and flashes, and they do have to land everything to kill him, but still. Now we're just sort of chasing them around the map. We do chase them away here. We don't... We do get Mel as well? No, okay. We just play for the wave instead. But again, we got I don't know how this game is still good, like in this position, but we still get ourselves into this position. And now we start poking on this Herald, but it's while they're all here. What happens? They collapse on bot lane, I think. So here, even that, right? This is what I want us to do. They were originally here. Like, yes, the reason I'm using this as an example is because I think in an ideal world, if you're not fighting this, you already know you're not fighting this, and you're either slowing them down or you're already doing something else. But my point is still, they realize, okay, we can't fight this, and Crown is instantly just legging it bot lane. He's just like, okay, maybe Charger just walks away, but if like he's just instantly legging it this way anyway. And this is what I want us to do. So they all go bot, we just instantly leg it towards top side. And they actually, I think, overcommit on this. So that's not a good example to show because it ends up not being worth it for them because we get this tower and do we not rotate and get this top tower? Can't remember. Oh yeah, we were worried about them playing Atacan or something. But I think we can actually just run to the top tower here as well. Wouldn't it be 4v4? We see... Don't we just take this inner tower as well? We run this way, and we take inner tower too? Do we just really need bases? We've got a decent amount of gold. But we've got all our ults. If they jump into us, we've got TP person respawning soon. Zeri's pushing bot lane. I think we can take that. Maybe not, but it's at least worth having the discussion. Yeah, Zeri already is taking it. So that's why I think we take 2 towers mid, and then we basically got an inner tower for a kill, which is 100% worth it, and a herald. But instead, we back off from that other one. And this I think is really silly. We're literally saying, okay, now we're really strong. Now we're spiking. We want to fight. And then we fight not as 5. And it might not be a winning fight, but it's the best we're going to get. Again, we're talking about risk reward before, right? So we see that Zeri is split, I think, which is why we go for this, but like just no one is ready. Doesn't have merc trays or anything. Why do we miss this combo? You can't QW on someone without... Am I just super confused? Don't know why that doesn't land. Oh, it's not chained anymore. Wait, when was this nerf? It was just ages ago and I'm stupid. I think if you can chain these... Oh, okay, so it's still a more recent nerf, right? But still, I don't like this anyway. But if you can chain all these, then maybe we one-shot Lulu. But I don't even think you can. Because now Rel is dead before the fight even starts. We're not ready for it. Like this one is really bad for us because okay, the game never felt good, I think. And that's why we make some like two back end of the plays kind of thing, like back to play too much on the back foot. But this was the time where we were saying, okay, like now we want to look for a fight. We've got 3 items on Varus. Zeri's it's not gonna get easier from now, basically. Yeah, I think you either have to like W or yeah, you just can't. But I think you shouldn't go for this anyway. I think they see that Zeri's not here, and so they think they can just try and play for a kill. But they only see 2 people, but they just don't see that there's also Pantheon there, and they just need to know. And I think the other thing is that again, it's the risk reward, right? Like even if you could chain all these, I don't know if you kill her because there's also Mel who can W in front of it to block anything and all those kind of things, you know. So there's a lot of reasons why I don't like this, regardless. And then from here, this is where they get soul, and now I think it's kind of impossible. And the fight goes, oh yeah, the fight goes super long, and Pantheon gets like a bunch of people at the back end, right? Yeah. Okay. They do outscale us in some of the drafts. The first one, the second one, and maybe the fourth one. I can't remember. Yeah, the fourth one too. Yeah, they outscale us in 3 out of the 4 drafts. And the one that they don't outscale us, we got ridiculously far ahead on. I don't know if they outscale us if like we get the dragons though in a game like this. Like Zeri Lulu is really obnoxious, but I also think again if we change the things about the draft that I was already saying, I think then it's not so much of an issue. Like it's still hard, but this game, like I said, we were lucky to get even to this point. And here we almost like if they didn't have Soul, I think we win that fight. As in win it, it's not a big deal because they have Atakan. Like we wouldn't win the game off it, but okay. So I need to quickly go to the toilet. What I'm going to do is I'm going to run ads and then I will go for game 3 and 4. I think game 3 is going to be the shortest one of the reviews. I don't think there's really much that we can we can draw from that game. I think I don't even know if their draft is bad. I know that I saw some of their clips of them saying it, like Nemesis saying the Zillion was awful. I don't even know if that's true because we were just 2k down by like 5 minutes. So I'll quickly run out to go to the toilet and I'll be right back. Okay. 2 more games. I just need to quickly check in case that's anything important. Yeah. That is a quick remake. If not. Okay. Let me know if you have any questions or anything, by the way. What was that? Okay, game 3. Yeah, like I say, I'm probably just going to look at the very beginning of game 3. Okay, this is game 4. They're in the wrong order. So this is like this. Yeah, I mean, this draft, I think, is really hard for them to play. But like I said in the stream when I was watching it, 100% this is the time you do this if you're Los Ratones. Like if you're gonna try a weird draft like this, like do it in the 2 games up seeding match. I'm just gonna literally race through the beginning of this game because I'm pretty sure there's just it's just doomed. The fact that they get first blooded already, then they need to predict the swap or something. They can't not know this is coming. Velia, like I said, smurfs this. I think this is a really interesting like place to stand. But like I think they have to play smarter with this, I think. If it's a swap, it's doomed. So even if they swap back, we'd swap reback. I think you just can't draw conclusions from this draft. I do think that Nemesis has maybe been given a wrong impression of Zillion's strength playing against different people in scrims. I've seen it. I don't think it's I think it's hard. But here, like Baus has to come here. Like, I don't know, but like I think already, if I'm them, top lane, bot lane has to go top. Not through here, through lane. Like you have to just try and call this. You have to find a way to get there. But we did do the ward. I don't know. You just can't be swapped on. in this game, and we got the swap. Not only got the swap, but we got the barrier already. Like, it's doomed. Like I said, Velier gets a really nice idea. It's just doomed. Yeah, there's no point looking at this game, is there? It's literally like, this is remaked by now in scrims, by the way. Not even like this is just already a remake. Absolutely, it's a remake. Okay, fine. Next game. Next game. Yeah, but you have to know that the top laner isn't tied to the swap because he can't go bot anyway. So I think if you're showing that you're top, that's okay. Like, both top laners are top and both bot laners run top. Like, you can reset and match the Jacks. But like I say, I think it's already hard. If you're in these situations where you're locked into desperately need normal lanes, and we are also weaker level 1, that's hard, I think. Okay, so that one's already done. Nothing to learn from that one. It's a tragedy. This, I think the Bard is a really, really nice pick here. Honestly, it's 2020 hindsight. I think banning stuff like Bard is not a bad idea. We thought he probably wouldn't play it, I think, or just it was worth the risk. Because with this 1, 2, 3, and what did we have? Nocturne, Ashe, Cho'Gath, I think. 1, 2, 3. We just take any ranged mid laner, and they need to fight us. They've never played Zilean again. I'd like to see it. I just you need to know. The problem is that they have the same problem as us. Most of the teams that scrim us are teams that are sort of bullied into scrimming because they're streaming it because they're like, oh, we're just desperate to play against your players and play against the team. And so I think they can play pretty much anything in scrims and probably win. And so that's the problem. Like, you need to find a time. You need to find someone to really punish you on. Okay, we wanted the swap here as well. So Gragas comes mid. Cho'Gath gets chunked. He's trying to get forward for the XP, but he can't. Can't really remember the state of this game until the end. It was another fairly close one, but we were getting quite outscaled. And I think if they can't engage on us, then we don't get outscaled at all. But they could with these last 2 picks. Yeah, I don't know if we needed to flash there, but we were very worried about him trying to make his flash away, like flashy, over the wall. So we get the kill, Bard rotates. We were saying we were fine here, but can't we can't play this? Can't we just stay here with Nocturne? Maybe not, but feels like we can. I mean, neither of us had flash, I guess. Yeah, this was a bit of a tragedy. And he just flashes over the wall, and you don't know which way he's coming from. Then he gets out. This dive really... Oh, wait, no, it's the redive that... So we kill him here without losing anything. Unfortunately, Trace gets the kill. Then this redive, by the way, I think should work. We were saying after the series that it actually still going to work, should work. Yeah, we thought he wouldn't get a time to E, and so we would chain the CC. Yeah. But I think if you play this better, you just E here. Wait, does he E late? Yeah, you E before you're coming in, and you get one more tick of it. And we thought we would get the stun, but we don't even get the stun, which means then he gets 6. And that's a massive one because that costs us so much time as well. We don't get we do get the dragon, but it's really late. They get to make a whole like a bunch of plates basically for it. Just chase him away. We play again for the bot kill. We save the tower, so Ash can run to top lane. Attacking Velia. What do you mean? Like in the game or in the draft or? I don't think he has a particularly weird bad champion pool. Does he? Does he play much tanks? That could be an interesting idea. I think both Velia and Baus still make a lot of mistakes and give windows into the game, and that's why it's a bit disappointing that we gave better ones, better windows into the game. This is just bad. But we're much quicker on the swap back if the redive doesn't go badly, and we also can play more aggressively for this tower. So like all of this comes from the redive going badly. I mean, that's a great thing to say, but if you're not going to say how, it's like, sure. There could be something in it. I think the thing is that like if you're talking about attacking champion pools in draft, the problem is that jungle doesn't have that many, and there's a lot of crossover, so it's hard. It's hard to really pressure someone in the draft like you might be able to do in like mid lane or something. You could spend more jungle bans. I mean, they were doing 2 jungle bans every game, so we could have done more jungle bans, I guess. Focus more on him in that sense. We did kind of cater towards bot lane for the pick and ban, and the bot lane didn't go particularly well anyway, so maybe we try something different next time. But I don't think you can like, I think maybe you can target him as in like when you have like a lot of aggressive tools, he's going to be out of position a bit because he's just the least experienced one, like, or him and Baus, like they're more likely to give you kills. But I don't think it's like, you don't come into a series being like, oh, we'll just quickly target this one person, especially when you're playing against really strong people, because you can't let Nemesis and Crowny do whatever they want. So it's I think a much easier thing to say than do, but maybe that's me. We could try something. We just try and get rid of all the carry junglers as quickly as possible. See what it does. Tank free tank. Now again, this game is already hard. We pull back into these games. This game. I said this at the time. Like you just have no reason to step up for this wave. Like before it's even here, you don't have to catch this high. When we know that they're trying to pressure bot side, we can't catch this high. So he dies. We get a really nice arrow onto Nemesis. Like in this game, do you say like we targeted Nemesis? It's like, not really, baby. I don't know. He just messed up a few times and got caught, which is unlike him. But you can't go into a game making that happen, I guess. I really hope there's more. Like, I really hope that we keep doing Fearless, because I think there's a lot more that we can do in Fearless Best of Fives that we haven't thought of yet. Yeah, in this series, the bot lane played really well and much better than our bot lane, I think. And Freddy was really, really good, I think, in mid lane. Like, Nemesis was also very good, but that's what an area where they would hope, I think, to generate a massive advantage, and they couldn't in most games. But again, like, I still think we don't prioritize the wave enough. I still think we play too much for kills and not enough for the wave. I still think we don't chip towers enough. And the big thing from the games that I want to go over is like when we're strong, forcing stuff to happen. This is quite good. Again, hard forcing on stuff, but we TP for it. So we defend their play. We're already on the back foot because of the way the early game is gone, right? So we can't. I'm not saying in this game we need to be killing towers. They were really mental boom this game, listening in on the LR comms. What LR was? Everyone was really quiet and permanently apologizing. Really? After game 3? Okay. I mean, I think that's their biggest weakness. It's got nothing to do with any of the players. Priority to have better tempo is much higher. Yeah. Our focus is more on kills and pressure and less on tempo, and theirs is more on tempo, but I think we need to turn it a little bit more towards the waves. I don't think we need to be as focused on waves as them, but would lane swap be a good option and ban Scion and like so Balls doesn't get his priority stacks? That there's lane swap in each of the games, right? Every game was lane swap, I think. Is that right? Well, the third one obviously was. This one was. Game 1 wasn't, I think. Was game 2 a lane swap? I get lost, man. It's too many. Yeah, they're not used to losing. Yeah, true. I think that's our best sign for future. Is that even in a series like this, where I thought we really didn't play anywhere near as well as we could, if they're frustrated after the game 1, that's. And here, this turn, like Nemesis just goes way too far. Again, we shouldn't be in the position to be doing this. We have to be responding to them. So the fact that we get them is good, but we always trade it as always. We almost just die here. And again, they just hard run to the other side when we're doing an objective on one side. So we really almost die. I think we should die. That if that ult hits him backwards, then we die. And we have to just run around the safer way. To just run around up here, which feels bad, but you either have to reset and come from base or you have to run up there. Then we get a tower in mid. See, in this game, like I already don't have that much timestamps because I think from this stage, Maybe it's silly. Maybe I'm being silly. Also, after looking at this many games back to back to back, I think it's just hard to find those moments where I've already got stuff that I want to talk about them for next week. So now it's like, how can I find the next thing? Because there will be a day where we. But even stuff like this redive, I don't think we need to go over. You know. Because we talked about it straight after the game. It's obvious what was wrong. Can I check vision? Yeah, I think when they're pushing up and they're in the advantageous position, they are going to get vision. But they also a lot play. I think we play still too shallow a lot of the times. And the fact that we lose this full tower already is now going to give them so much access into our jungle. Yeah, I'm just thinking of like what I would want us to do differently because already we're 2k down. We die in mid. I already talked about that. Silly. Nemesis dies as well. Silly. He can flash that. And this one is even when the gold becomes even after a couple of our like snap engages that catch people. This one is not even, you know. I think in a few key moments they out team for us over the series, but I also think there were other team stuff that they were better at than us in the series as well. I think we didn't push our windows where we're strong anywhere near enough as we should. How do you think champs like Silas are in best of five? I think Silas is good in the right situations, regardless of best of five or best of one. He needs the right champs on the enemy team that he can play into because he's quite obviously specific as a champ. So I think for sure in best of five, it can be really, really strong. I think you can't, it's not like, oh, okay, I can blind Silas because this and this matchup are gone. If that's what you mean about Fearless, because Silas is more like, I think when Silas is well balanced, which is what I would probably say he is now, he's like just a really interesting 4-5 pick. You know, like we forgot about it sort of thing. Good ult on the enemy team, but then also not that much like a good way to play the game as well. Like, for example, if you could see all of this and then take Silas, that's not bad. You got Ashe, Alistar, even Whale is fine, but then like Nocturne and Cho'Gath, like. So if you draft something like this on blue side and they haven't picked their mid lane, you need to make sure you've banned Silas, regardless of game 1 or game 5. So I don't know if there's stuff about Fearless that makes him better necessarily, unless you got to a point where you could blind it because only good old champs are left. But okay, then this is the point we got to before because I zoned out and I hadn't written anything down. So again, another just really nice like snap engages, I think, from us is always good to see. And just stepping way too close to Alistar, but now what do we do with this? We push top, we take Herald, and we should go the long way around to get something on bot. Or just reset to get something on bot. Reset and come back out with this next wave. He just doesn't expect that they'll just rush also Bard bot, and that's where he almost dies. But we come back round. We also put the Herald down to get mid lane. Now we are in a decent spot. Not amazing because it's starting to be difficult already. think we just commit too many resources for this. And this is the part that I don't like. So these plays where we collapse on someone, but we don't have a wave in bot and we don't have a wave in mid. This is what I don't like. So Cho'Gath's going to come up, but this is definitely something that's worth talking about and looking at. Because this is the downside of having our shot caller be someone who's not connected to the waves. Because we do find fights like this, which is good. But, oh, sorry. Time is, yeah. But I think this one's never good for us. I think they just shouldn't TP as well. Like, they get both these towers. I don't think that if he TPs earlier, I don't think it makes any difference. He should just stay and take the tower. I think we shouldn't go for that when, like, we need to be like looking at the waves, or maybe we even have someone whose responsibility is to just shout waves, like just talk about the waves. So Eric can just be like focusing on finding these plays, and then every time you just like waves. To if someone else has noticed. But then we get the dragon. The tenacity is sort of nice, I guess. The Ash ult is almost insane. This stage, we're sort of looking top, but also a little bit worried about the Atakan, so we go to mid lane. Who dies here? I can't remember. Okay. They make a play on top side. But see, they have no they have no waves to deal with before they make this play. So like from their point of view, they have the wave in bot, then they clear the wave in mid high, and now they run to top side. So like we can look at this from their point of view. I mean, they have one ward, right, to see stuff. But they know they must wait. Okay, what do they see before? So we clear their vision. Oh, no, we don't. Yeah, there we go. So they don't know who's here, but my point, but they have 5 people in this screen. So even if we're here, it's okay. I feel like the quick TPs could be a disadvantage in many games. Communication felt hard sometimes with TP on. I think in so many games, especially from us, quick TPs is we TP like it's old TP, and I think so many pros teams do it, but us especially. This one's a tragedy as well. There's a lot of little moments that we don't hit in this game, these games. Like, if that Ash ult hits, then we just combo this guy, and I think he 100 to 0 can't press the plant even. But we're a little bit slow. So now we use some tools as well, and now we use Flash and ult. Orianna no ult, but... And Crowley just fucks up here. I can't remember why. No, he literally just dies for no reason. But this is my point, is that they just constantly give us windows back into the game, but then we make mistakes at the crucial moments. They make mistakes at the non-crucial ones. Oh no, we do get that scan here, right? Yeah, we do. Okay. So this is a big crucial mistake. The downside is it's not going to be up for Baron, but we then take this, we then take this tower. Then we use it to take the third dragon. And they just give it to us because we've got Atakan. But we don't go deep enough here. I think we can go deeper, can't we? Okay, we do go quite deep. I think we can be trying to catch this wave higher is what I'm thinking. Because again, this is a situation where... yeah, I mean, the fact that Crowley played as well as he did, by the way, when he's sick is crazy. But this is another situation where we're stronger and we need to force stuff to happen. We're stronger because we've got the buff. In the first game, we were stronger because of the champions. And both times we need to be thinking like, okay, how do we actually make stuff happen? Because it's not something we've had practice against. Because again, the teams we're scrimming, they just fight us anyway. So that's how stuff happens because the enemy makes it happen. Okay, so we did get the third dragon from it, but that's the end of the Atakan buff. What about APCs against them? Depends which ones. Most other than Ziggs are not good in the not too good in the lane swap, which can be an issue. Although Mel looked okay in the lane swap yesterday, which is always an issue. It's like carries top. I don't think it's necessarily something that Matty likes to play that much. This is just really bad. I think Matty almost saves this fight, and he's really strong. But this would go too deep. Again, like we're not ready to fight on this wave, and then they clear the wave, and then we fight. So there wouldn't be anything to get here anyway. So like, even if we get a fight here, like there's no wave in mid. We should just play. I think we should fight on this wave if we're going to fight. And then Noah just steps way too far forward. And even so, I think we almost win this fight if Reckless doesn't, because both their carries go as well. And if Reckless doesn't hit this stun here, Treats can block the Gragas, and then I think it's really... I mean, Treats should already be blocking the Gragas, by the way. Because actually this fight goes okay because Matt just goes ham. Just block Gragas and die for it, I think. Okay. I think, is this the end of the game? I can't remember. No, maybe it's not quite. It's one more fight. So again, like both the side lanes are always pushed up. Like the waves are almost always in a better situation for them when the fights happen, and they've got more vision in our jungle from just playing the side waves further deeper than we play them. Oh, this is one I didn't actually see. That's a really nice Mikhail's because it ends up putting treats too far away. And it's a really nice Bardot as well. Misses the stun, but yeah, okay. Okay. So I'm still like marking them in the same way. Yeah, it's already like we said, the outscale is already pretty rough. Like Sivir at this stage is already like doing as much as the Ashe is, even though Ashe was ahead even after the end of the game. Orianna in those kind of team fights, there's so much more than Wei, and he's so far ahead of him. It's like 2k up, and then like they're just ahead in gold as well, right? And Velia Viego at this stage of the game is a bit rough. Yeah, like I said, I think the Bard ban I think would have been a good thing to think about more seriously, and it's good to know for the future because making sure that they having like this is 4-5, and then if they'd have not had any engage, I think it's really hard for them to play. But still, lots for us to learn. So I've got 3 sets of things that I'm going to look at for in terms of notes, which is forcing hard when we are when we're stronger. Then it's how we generate time, and then it's team fighting. And it's the same from the Verdant series. I've got a strategy one, a bunch of generating time ones, and 2 different fight ones. So 2 fights from Thursday's games, 4 fights from these games that are worth looking at. And as I said before, so for people who haven't, I don't know if there's people watching who haven't been paying attention to the NORD stuff, but we're trying out this split, which I haven't had a chance to do properly, is like non-linear periodization. So we're not going to look at all of this stuff. What we're going to do is on the day that we're trying to learn about team fighting, we're going to look at all the team fights. And on the day when we're trying to look at generating time, we're going to look at all the moments of generating time. And the one, same again for the one about playing in our windows. I think that I'm probably going to start actually with the like playing more aggressively in our windows. Because I think that's the big thing against these guys. And I think it was such a good opportunity to be like really shown that, because they're very good at not giving us fights and not giving us objectives. Like they just don't let stuff happen in the times where we're stronger. And so we have to force it to happen. If this game turned into a 50-minute game, which team scales better? Them, for sure. They're already scaled better, I think, at this stage. I mean, I think Cho'Gath scales insanely well as a tank, but not necessarily against their team, but even still. But Sivir and Bard as well scales insanely well. But Orianna, Viego, like all of them are scaled up already. Okay, well, that's going to be it. So I hope you enjoyed the review. As I say a lot, this is not quite, but pretty much how I would review our games if we weren't streaming. So the important thing is not necessarily just like all the things we did wrong. It's what can we take from these games to make us better for the next time. And luckily, we've got actually next time we play them. So if we weren't playing LR again, maybe I would focus on something different. But the focus for the first scrim set is going to be like forcing in the windows where we're strong. Because I think that's something we have done really well before, but it's hard to differentiate between we did it well because the enemy were bad and gave us it, or we did it well because we actually did it well. So I remember an earlier game, maybe against Verdant or something, where we said, okay, we're on 2 items now, we're really strong, we group up and fight, and we just group up and they kind of fought. So that looks great. and it feels good to say what you want it to have happen, and then it happens. But you group up against Los Ratones on 2 items when you're stronger at 2 items, and they don't give you a fight. So we have to work out how to push a lot more aggressively to get those fights. Cool. So thanks for watching. Have a good Sunday. How do you make sure not to overlook your next match? Well, as soon as we know who it's going to be against, we'll just have to make a big part of the focus on that. Big part of the scouting, big part of the focus. The good thing for us is that they're both best of fives. And so focusing on just how we're going to play best of fives, building up specific comps and how those comps play is going to be useful no matter who we play against. And a lot of this same stuff is the same mistakes we've made against Verdant. I do think the Verdant thing was more about the draft, the fact that that game was close, but whether it's Verdant or Ruddy, it'll be the same. Sorry, I don't have more games to go over, and I'm too tired to go over like LEC or something right now. So I'm not entirely sure when our scrims are at this stage, because we weren't exactly sure. I think probably we're going to be doing Monday, Wednesday, Thursday for scrims. I'm going to be doing pro reviews every day from 11. So it'll be either LEC or it'll be LCK is starting to get into intense ones. As always, I don't have co-streaming rights, so it will be slow, pausing, well, probably ×2, but pausing, jumping back, drawing, answering questions, all those kind of things. So if you're interested in that, do follow, subscribe, all those kind of things. But if not, enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and I will see you for scrims